Unfulfillment looks at the human price of online convenience and won the Sutherland Prize for Best First Feature at last year's BFI London Film Festival. Joana Santos plays Aurora, a Portuguese immigrant working as a low-paid warehouse picker in Edinburgh, striving to move up to a better job, but starts to struggle as her employment takes its toll upon her. This is the first feature from Laura Carrera, and this feels very much in the vein of the social realist films of Ken Loach, and that's not a surprise, as it's produced by 16 Films, the same company that backed Loach's final films and could almost function as a companion piece to Sorry We Missed You. Amazon might not be mentioned, or their euphemism fulfillment centres, but they cast a heavy shadow over the movie and the company that Aurora works for with their blandly disingenuous corporate platitudes about supporting their workers. They describe the job as being like a treasure hunt, but the reality is a crushingly monotonous and repetitive task of pushing a trolley, finding items and scanning barcodes. Rinse and repeat, day in, day out. Oh, but if you do a really good job, they might give you a chocolate bar in a way which totally isn't patronising. But the worst part is the isolation of it, as Aurora barely sees her co-workers to even recognise them, and they often disappear, accompanied by rumours of, "Did you hear about what happened to that guy?" and the company putting up netting on their balconies. It's the type of job synonymous with the modern gig economy that chews people up, and while Bong Joon-ho's Mickey 17 wrapped its capitalist critique in big-budget futuristic sci-fi, Unfulfillment is the hard contemporary reality. Featuring in every scene, Santos gives a truly heartbreaking central performance in a role which doesn't have a lot of dialogue because her actions and behaviours speak volumes. You can see this in the food that she eats, as she's paid so little that she can barely sustain herself. Her meals consist of a cheese sandwich or some chips, or at her most desperate, a bag of crisps or a chocolate bar. She spends the vast majority of her time either working or scrimping just enough to get by, not so much living as existing, and trapped like a rolling box on a conveyor belt in a not-so-subtle metaphor. There isn't a lot of story here, but that's also kind of the point. Aurora's looming realisation of the tragedy of her circumstances and her deferred happiness hits like a ton of bricks and is genuinely difficult to watch. Obviously, you're not going to watch this if you want escapism, but this shows cinema's power to shine a light on the marginalised and overlooked, and a reality that's all too recognisable.